What is up, y'all? We are here for episode 3 of Love Cabin. If y'all are new here, hit subscribe. Do that real quick. Thumbs up the video, get in the comments, share the video, hype the video. Do that in the comments on the YouTube app. Helps push the video out as well. We're going to get into this freaked out mess, but let's go. All right, so we get back where we left off, which was Ray J pretty much asking Chloe whose meat was the biggest. Don't care. Do not care. She goes and fills all the guys up, and she ranks them one from first to last. Kamo was highest for her. Brian was the last for her. But Ray J then asked John and Kamo essentially to come up there with her because they were her top two. And he was like, what's most attractive to you about John? And she says his personality. He makes them couple up. Kamo is partnered up with Kiara at this point. Or is it Kiara? It might be Kiara. He really don't want her. Like, let's keep it real. He's freaked out. Like, he's freaked out and she's a virgin. So that's just not going to match. But Desi, her turn, she has truth or strip. I was about to say strip. So truth or strip. They get to choose between a truth question or stripping. She chooses truth. And Ray J asks her outside of Mikael, who is the biggest or who's the best kisser to her out of the other guys there. And she says Thanos looks like he can. He makes them kiss. They kiss. She said he gave her essentially a little bit of everything in that kiss. Too much tongue, but his breath smelled good. Ray J then asks her to go kiss Mikael. She goes and does it again. And Ray J then has her kiss Trap too. So they kiss as well. So it's just a bunch of kissing. It's like, it's overkill at this point. But he then has her rank them in order from best to worst. She had Thanos at number 1, Mikael at 2, and Trap at 3. Ray J has her go and couple up with Thanos now. He says that he likes her. She's pretty. She's from New York. And he's attracted to her, and he's excited to see where this goes. Mikael is now partnered up with Athena, and he was like, she a BBL bandit. We're going to get on her in a minute. But she is a BBL bandit. And he was like, I don't think it's going to be with her. Like, she's not Desi. Mikael got good taste. But we'll get to it. But Ray J then moves to Nisa. She chooses to strip because she's not trying to get passed around by these dudes. She flashes off her girls. But Ray J then has the girls and guys stand up because this is where they're going to have the elimination or at least the deliberation for it. They had no background music. Again, Zeus, the editing, get it together. They had a very terrible splice that we're going to talk about later on. But the editing is horrible. Get some background music in. It makes the show boring when there's no background music. Like, it seems like it's dry. Like, put some background music in. But he has them essentially choose a guy and a girl to go home. So the girls are going to choose the guy. The guys are going to choose the girl. So they start deliberating. Sheila is talking about Mikael. Desi's shutting it down as she should. And she's like, I mean, I don't know why his name is even being thrown out. I don't know why either. But Ray J then asked Sheila, because Sheila's the spokesperson for the girls, and she says this isn't based off of just my opinion. It's a group opinion. Desi says, no, it's a one-person opinion, aka it's yours. Like, and from what I've seen, I didn't hear anybody else throw his name out there, so it's your decision, Sheila. But she says Mikael, and Desi says nobody voted for him. Like, it was one person. It was just her, basically. Sheila's sitting there denying it, but she gets in her confessional statement that nobody was giving her an answer, and now that she chose Mikael, it's an issue, and they got her fucked up. Okay, Huda, we'll get to you in a minute. But Ray J ends up asking Mikael how he feels about it, and he's like, I mean, I ain't tripping about it, but like, if you did it, own up to it, but like, it is what it is. Zeus and their trash editing, they got Kemp with that forced ass narrating. You got Desi and Sheila going back and forth, yet you got Kemp's audio overpowering the actual show. Like, we want to watch that. Why would you? And then it's like they had that, and I was thinking by the time Tia was done, they want to get back into what they were talking about. No, it didn't happen that way. I'm like, come on, get the editing together. But Ray J then asked the girls who they feel didn't perform at the highest in that challenge. And no, he asked the guys that. John then says that it's not his vote, but based off of what the guys stated in terms of performance. Kiara was the one that performed the worst. No shock there. But Desi, and she wasn't shocked either. But Desi tells them, like, there's no strategic thinking in these decisions. Everybody else is all over the place. Well, she ain't lying. But Sheila then says it's not personal. It was a group. I'm like, but if it was a group decision, then why is nobody else copping to it? That's because it wasn't. But Desi says, if you want me to choose, I can stand up and choose right now at that point. And Sheila was trying to state something, but then Desi was like, I already said 5 times what it is. I said what I said. It is what it is. It don't matter anymore. I'm not going to keep saying it again because Ray J pretty much stated it is what it is. The vote is what it is. So why are we still going back and forth? I was like, exactly. But Sheila then says that she don't like the way it's making it seem like she was the only one making the vote. But if that's the truth, that's what it is. Like, don't be sitting here mad because they're not lying about it. But the other girls, they're telling her it's not that serious. Like, she's the only one making it a big deal. But Desi then tells us that Sheila's drunk and sloppy because there's no reason for Mikael to be going home. There is no reason for him to be the one going home. If you're asking me, out of both sets, I would have sent home, based off the guys of the show, I would have sent home, who would I have sent home? I'm trying to think of the guys. Off of a clear connection right now, Kiara definitely would have went home for the girls. For the guys, it would have been a toss-up, truthfully, between, if you're going to keep it real, it'd have been a toss-up, based off connection, it'd have been a toss-up between John. It might have just been John, honestly. Or maybe Thanos, because Thanos ain't really had no, like, clear connection. Like, he bopping around, but, I mean, he doing what he's supposed to do. But I don't know. But the whole decision, the whole point, like, just make a choice and stick with it. But Ray J pump fakes them, because nobody got sent home, but we'll get to it. But they head back inside with their new couples. So the girls are all in the vanity room now, and they're pretty much talking about what just happened. And Sheila's sitting there talking about how she asked them as a group, and nobody could answer, and they went against her. I said, nobody went against you. You was the only one. You literally was the only one that voted, and you were the only one that said your vote. But she was like, it makes me feel some type of way, and next time somebody else can be the spokesperson so you can see how it feels. So she says she doesn't like them throwing her under the bus. And Desi tells her, like, I agreed with what you were stating because, I mean, I agreed with you. Nobody else was speaking up. The only person that really was you in the moment. So that's why I decided I was going to speak up so that you won't be looking like the bad guy, the villain, because I have no problem speaking up. Sheila completely misunderstanding. And you know why she misunderstood? Because she don't like Desi. She was looking for a reason to have an issue with Desi, and here it is. But the only difference is she ended up looking stupid in the end. But Sheila sits there and states, I never said let me be the villain. I'm like, when did she ever say that you said that? Desi said, let me step up so you won't be the villain. AKA, you're the only one speaking. Let me state my piece. Like, how are you not understanding that? But then again, we know why you're not understanding it, because you want to not understand Desi. But Sheila's still not getting it, because Desi at this point is confused. Like, how did you misunderstand? How did you misinterpret what I just said? Like, what? But she says, I literally just stated, let me state my piece so you don't look like the villain. Sheila's still not getting it. And Desi's telling her to listen and stop talking, and maybe you'll understand things, which is the truth. But Sheila's sitting there looking for a cosign. And Sheila then tells Desi that she gonna pretty much let her talk. Get your shit out. And Desi says, I mean, I said what I said. Like, if you don't understand it, it is what it is. But Sheila then states, too, that we had to make a decision. I asked everyone. She's still going around in circles. Sheila, I was like, shut up. Because, like, you're not stating anything different than what you already stated. And what you're stating makes 0 sense. Like, 0 sense. But Desi says that Desiree spoke up talking about me. I spoke up. Like, at that point, shut up. But Sheila then states that nobody can give me an answer. Desi is still confused. Kiara said that she said John. Chloe says that she said Trap. So there were other people speaking. You just didn't. Like, y'all just weren't on the same page. This is really what it is. And you were just mad because y'all weren't on the same page. But Nisa states that she feels like it's the liquor because nobody essentially is getting to the end of this endless, pointless conversation. But we go over to the boys and they're over there not really caring. Mikael said he is not tripping. Brian ends up asking the boys if they feel like he made a mistake locking in so quickly when it comes to Nisa. I said, fuck what they think. Like, if that's what you feel and you feel that strongly about Nisa, ride that shit out. Fuck what they think, because they in here just trying to have fun. You seemingly are in here trying to find a connection, and it seems like you have found it, so ride that shit out. They are in a completely different boat than you are. But back to the girls. They still over there arguing. And Sheila's still asking for a cosign. And Kiara, she's backing Desi up. Because Desi's sitting there trying to talk about, like, well, she's sitting there stating that Sheila's sitting there stating that Desi was trying to make her look crazy. And she's not going to continue to argue with her about it. But she's sitting here doing it. But Kiara's backing up Desi and she's smiling. Athena says the facts are the facts. Nobody stood up for Sheila. So that would include you. Like, what? But Sheila then starts getting tough, trying to press Kiara. And it's like, out of all the girls there, Kiara is the one that looks like she's the most harmless, apart from Chloe. So I just found it interesting how Sheila got so buck trying to get up in Kiara. But Desi is trying to distract Kiara from Sheila trying to have a moment. And Sheila's sitting there talking about something, you think it's funny, then say it. I'm like, what are you even talking about? But she then starts putting the fingers up in Kiara's face too, ghetto. But Desi says, why would I back up you talking about somebody that I'm fucking with? Basically, Sheila's asking for them to have co-signed what she was stating then. And Desi's like, you wanted Mikael out, who is my connection, so why would I back you up in that situation? Like, duh. But Sheila then says, say that though. Say what? Say what? Desi is sitting there screaming, I already said it. Like, you're not listening. But Sheila then states that you didn't say anything when she literally did. But Sheila's still swearing up and down that nobody said anything, pretty much making her look stupid. And Desi's like, open your ears next time, because I never was quiet, and she wasn't. But they're still going back and forth. And most of the girls migrate out except for Desi, Sheila, and Athena. Basically, Desi in there were her two biggest haters. But they're still going back and forth. Desi says Sheila is delusional, which she is. And Sheila's asking how. Desi is still seated at this point. I'm like, you should have gotten up at this point. Like, at this point, Desi's in the corner in her vanity. Sheila's now standing up. But I can tell Desi wasn't really thinking Sheila was going to even do anything, because Sheila, you can tell she's looking at Sheila like she's a joke, like the joke that she is. So she probably wasn't expecting her to even try and lunge over there at her, but Sheila ends up kind of like nudging the chair over before she walks over there and swings on Desi while she's in the chair. Desi falls out the chair, gets up and tries to swing back. Security's trying to block them at this point. So Desi's like, I mean, I'm going to need that, because she tried to sneak me. Well, she snuck me, and I ain't never been snuck before. Would you call that a sneak? No, but it definitely was caught off guard. It wasn't no fair heads up. Like, if you wanted to fight Sheila, you could have asked Desi. She would have got up. But the boys come in. Desi sitting there trying to swing on Sheila now. And John is sitting there talking about something. It's not that serious, Desi. Nigga, you weren't even there to see what happened. You acting like she the one starting the shit, and she's the aggressor when it. Classic. The black girl who is retaliating for the exotic non-black girl who pressed her, swung on her first, was the aggressor, is now getting reprimanded for defending herself, self-defense. So I'm like, and then it's funny too, considering how John swear he for the black girls, get you caping for your exotic girl. Like, please. But Desi states she hit me because she did. Like, I'm retaliating because she put her hands on me. But they're trying to restrain them. And John is telling Sheila, baby, this ain't like you. You don't even know her. You've only known her for 2 days and you still don't know her. So how do you know that that's not her? But Sheila is trying to get to Desi at this point. The boys are restraining her. Mikael's over there in the corner calming Desi down, and she likes the fact that he was able to take her from a 10 down to like a 5 or a 6. And Huda, aka Sheila, she over there crashing out. So Sheila ends up kicking Thanos, because Thanos is trying to like pretty much restrain her. She ends up kicking him. He gets upset walking out because she kicked him for no reason. And Desi tells Sheila to go sell her, you know what? But Ray J comes in there, and Sheila's sitting there talking about something. Since I met Desi, it's been weird. Yeah, because it's you. You're the weirdo. You were weird with her. Not only that, you were jealous and you were threatened by her confidence. Her confidence threatened you. And that's what's weird. That's what's weird to you. You're probably not used to actually being around somebody that truly threatens you like this. And that's why it was weird. That's why it was weird. But Desi says it's jealousy, which it is. That's literally what it is. They're jealous of her. But Ray J then says, of you? Yes, of her. Duh. And Desi says yes. But Sheila says it's none of that. Like, it's none of that. You know that. No, she's right. She's 100% correct. But Sheila was stating that you know that to Ray J. Like, Ray J knows who you are and knows that you wouldn't be jealous. Like, you are jealous. But Desi says that he don't know shit because don't nobody know you. Like, for real. But Sheila and her ghetto self starts slamming the vanity, starts pushing on the shit and stuff. And Desi's trolling her. Do it harder next time. But Desi was like, you look crazy. And she does look crazy. But Ray J takes Sheila out and Desi's in there dancing. But Sheila trying to have a moment so bad, sitting there talking about, let me in there so you can do what? So you can do what? Get done up, but we'll get to it. But Ray J is sitting there telling her, like, you doing it for no reason. There's nobody in here for you to be fighting over. You shouldn't be fighting over nobody to begin with, but correct. But Sheila then claims that she feels disrespected, and that was her acting out of self-defense. Do you not know what self-defense is? You can't be acting out of self-defense when you're the aggressor. Idiot. But Sheila is explaining herself to Ray J, stating that Desi made an issue with her. You literally have started everything that you got going on with Desi. Like, you started it from day one. But Ray J asked if they had an issue over the same guy, and she's like, no, if I wanted Mikael, I could get him. And Ray J's like, do you feel like you can get anybody else in here? She says, yes, and I can get you too. We already know that. Ray J's been dying for you to get him. But Desi, she's in there telling Mikael that Sheila was talking in circles, making no sense. 100% correct. But I was going to say Mikael is asking her, why is she sitting there arguing with somebody that's drunk when you already know she can't comprehend? I said, that's a good question. But Desi says essentially she was too busy trying to do her big one talking about Sheila. But Mikael says essentially that he likes how Desi was listening to his advice, taking it in, and she was. But Desi then states that she's going to go eat something. And Mikael's like, please, just don't go in there and fight. She's like, I'm not going to do it. I got self-control. Like, but if she touches me, she's getting busted. 100% agree with her. I would have been the same way. But they walk on out. And as they're walking on out, Sheila and Ray J still in the hall. They walk right on past her. And Desi was like, she lucky I ain't bust her in her face. She is. But of course, Sheila trying to have a moment. Talking about she's lucky what? She's lucky what? What she just said. You lucky she didn't bust you in your face. But I mean, I guess the luck ran out. But she's walking out behind her now, grabbing a plant to try and throw at her. Ghetto. And it's too heavy because she can't carry it 2 feet. She drops it and then tries to run up on Desi and gets rocked. Desi got the grabbed her, started slinging her around there. Sheila looked so stupid. So stupid. But security ends up breaking it up. And Desi says, I'll do it every time. Play with your mama, don't play with me. Sheila's now trying to throw plates of food. Ghetto. But Mikael was like, he ain't even mad at Desi for doing what she did at that point. Because he saw, like, she literally did not do anything to that girl. She came up and put her hands on her. But Desi, she's back in the room now with Nisa and Kiara. And everybody else essentially is in there with them at that time. They're taking shots or trying to take a shot, talking about taking a shot. But Ray J comes in and tells Sheila, who was in there with Sheila? I think it was her, Athena, somebody else was in there. But tells him that it's time to go to sleep. Sheila's like, well, you need to go tell her that. Go tell Desi that. No, you need to go to sleep. You don't want us drunk and belligerent. But Ray J says, don't tell me what to say. You 2 seconds from me kicking you off the show. I said, exactly. In this moment, I was with Ray J. But he then goes into the other room with the rest of the cast where Desi's in there talking about it's time to wrap it up right now. Go to sleep because of the fights. And Desi says, I mean, it wasn't supposed to be that. But my question to you is, did you say that same shit to her? Because she was the aggressor. I said, good question. He gets all passive aggressive with her, talking about something. I don't have to answer that. Why are you getting sassy and yelling at a woman for what? For what? Like, what is the point in this? Because she asked you a genuine question. She wasn't the aggressor. At that point, she needs to know that she's actually being protected. You got somebody on the loose, and you coming in here telling me that I need to go to sleep, yet you got somebody over here who's trying to attack me every 2 seconds. You need to talk to her. So that's what she was asking him. And he was like, I mean, I did, but if I didn't do it, what was you going to do? What did you want her to do? Come attack you? Like, why are you pressing a woman? Why? About her getting attacked, and she's asking you as the host of the show if you went in there and addressed her. Like, what? What? Ray J, he's annoying. Like, he's annoying. And the way he moves on the show, a lot of y'all have been stating it. Of course, we all been thinking it. It's very Diddy-ish, if you're asking me. We need a new host of the show. But Desi says a fight broke out. Who's responsible? Not me, because she's not responsible for it. Like, that one over there was the one aggressing. But Desi says that Ray J wants to tell them to go to sleep, but he started all of this shit, which is the truth. Like, she's like, you should have sent somebody home, and that's the truth. Like, hello. But we then see Sheila. She's in there with Athena and Trap, and she's in there asking them if they feel like she did anything wrong. And Athena was like, I mean, y'all misunderstood each other, but Desi was a stupid bitch from the beginning, and I don't like her. You don't like her because, you know, Trap likes her and you want him. The only reason why Trap is giving you attention is because you open them legs, and Trap is going to take it because that's what he wants from you. Like, please. But Trap ends up asking if they don't like Desi, and they sitting there going off, talking about how she gives weird energy from the beginning. Y'all are jealous and threatened of her. Like, that's literally what it is. But Desi is in there with Kamo and Mikael, stating that she can't believe that she let a BBL bandit come sneak her. And Mikael was like, I mean, it's the liquor, because when she's sober, she's not really stating anything. And when she's drunk, she don't know how to shut the fuck up. But back in there with Trap, he in there talking to Sheila, stating that he only feels like she was wrong for kicking Thanos. I said, you weren't there for the rest of us, so you can't really give an opinion. But Sheila claims that Thanos was getting in the way. He was trying to restrain you from getting your ass beat. But Thanos comes in there, and Sheila gives him some half-ass apology filled with excuses. And Sheila and Athena, they still in there talking down about Desi. Like, get off her dick at this point. Y'all are obsessed with her. But Thanos is claiming that he saw the shit too. Saw what they were taking. The examples that they were giving him, he claims that he saw that too. Remember that. But Trap says that Desi is like a nigga. Basically, like, she jokes around, she talks shit like it's jokes. It's not that deep. And Athena and Sheila like, well, we're women, and when we state stuff like that, it's not a joke to a certain degree, but y'all don't know her. Y'all don't know her, but y'all are literally using this as an excuse to validate y'all's jealousy. But Thanos is sitting there co-signing again. Remember that. But he states that if something's wrong, we have to address it. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier in the recap with the editing. They were talking about this, and I kid you not, the very next scene, Desi's in there. Because I was looking at the door. I was like, when did Desi get in there? The door, they was filming it from the shot where you could see Thanos, and behind Thanos is the door, which is the door to get into that vanity room. The very next shot, they have it facing another way where the door is no longer seen, but you see Desi. I'm like, this is such poor editing. Because how did she get in there? When did she get in there? And how, like, we didn't get to see how the energy was when she walked in there. But she walked in there, grabbed her shit, and got out. But Thanos is now sitting there talking about how he feels like Sheila was wrong for throwing food, which she was. But we get audio of Kamo trying to get a kiss from Desi because he got turned on watching her do all of that shit, which I found funny because they did end up kissing. I found it funny because in the scene prior, he was talking about how he don't step on toes and whatever, and how Mikael was Desi's, yet you in here, Kamo just out here moving. He just out here trying to get a piece of everything. But Thanos is now in there with Sheila now, trying to slide on her. Asking if she feeling John or whatever, or if it's like some in the moment ass shit. And she pretty much states like, we didn't really have a chance to pick. He picked me. I liked how he knew what he wanted, but we talked about exploring other people. But the next day, Chloe's talking to Kiara in the kitchen about how her and Kamo got busy. She stated that it was good. Kiara's now questioning if she is not doing enough. I said, no. If you don't want to give up the box, don't do it. Just because they doing it don't mean you got to. But the vanity room, they're all getting ready. Desi still ain't feeling Sheila. You shouldn't be feeling Athena either. But Athena goes in there telling them to keep it quiet, but her and Trap ended up fucking too. Who cares? Who cares? But the boys, they in the room trying to figure out who got some. And John thinks that Athena and Trap did, which they did. Because he was like, I feel like they did because Athena's obsessed with Trap, and that's the truth too. But John ends up asking Trap if he cracked Athena, and he was like, nah. He's sitting there lying because he confirmed it in the confessionals that they did. But Chloe, she's in there telling the girls that her and Kamo did it too. So everybody's in here getting some, and they pillow talking, and they pretty much telling everybody's business. But Athena and Mikael, they have these little conversations with their new couples. They have an age difference. She's 21 years old, you can tell. And he's 27, and she's talking about, because when she stated that she was 21 years old, he made a face and reacted, which rightfully so, because she's definitely, what she was trying to state is that, you know, women mature faster than men, which is true, but you're not that case. You act like you're 21 years old. Like, it's clear, and he sees that. But he ends up asking her if there's still a connection between her and Trap, and she tries to beat around the bush, but she eventually tells him that her and Trap has smashed. And she asked him where his mind is at. And he was like, I mean, that's a lot. I don't really have no judgment, but that's your man. Like, he done got in you already. I'm cool off of that. But he tells us he can't fuck with her because she don't fuck somebody else in the crib. And he cool with Trap too. So at this point, he's like, I'm good. But John and Chloe, they're having a conversation. He's still moving the way he did. What makes you want to fuck me? But she tells him that he's one of her top picks. He asks where he's ranked. She says second behind Kamo. He then starts talking shit about Kamo, calling him a fake ass Giveon. And he then starts asking if she was fucking Kamo, and she says yes. She ends up asking how it made him feel. He don't care because he feels like now that she gave that up with him, he gonna be able to get some too, aka because she's quote unquote easy. But he ends up asking who else has been fucking around the house, and he ends up asking if Athena did. Chloe knows Athena did, but she tries to play it off like she don't. But he knows for sure that she did because of her accent. And Chloe tells John that she don't know about Kamo because she likes the energy that she got with John. Interesting. But Chloe John don't want you. You don't fit his bill. Brian and Nisa, they might be the only couple that possibly has real energy, like real energy. She didn't like all that energy that happened the night before with the whole fighting and stuff. And he ends up asking, like, how are we going to prepare for the possibility of us getting split up? They already know there's going to be a strong possibility of that happening, considering how Ray J moves. But he then tells her, like, he's finding something with her. Like, he's liking what they got going on. They got a little connection, but he doesn't want to be selfish and pretty much cut her off from having the experience that she wants if she wants to explore other people. But she states essentially it's going to be hard for me because Brian is checking off all of her boxes. And she's loving how it's going at this point. But she does state something doesn't feel right. And I'm like, what? What? But Brian then tells her that he could see something with possibly Kiara because they're talking about the possibility of being split up and if there's somebody in there that they could possibly explore. And he was like, based off of Kiara's personality, that would be one that he would explore if he had to explore it. But Nisa states in her confessional that she ain't too happy about him telling her that. And I'm like, but you nudged him into doing that. Like she did. Like he was talking about it and she was like, really? Who? Tell me. So he told you and now you don't like it. But Kiara and Kamo, no chemistry at all. Truth be told, like it's just you got somebody that's freaked out, Kamo, and you got a virgin. It's not gonna match. But Thanos and Desi, they're matching as they go to have their conversation. And she was telling us like he gives her bestie, like more than partner. And they start talking about the drunk night before. And he says like some people were drunk. It was a little bit of alcohol. She said a little bit. And he says a lot. She's like, yeah, specifically Sheila. Like, let's be for real. But Thanos is now in his confessional talking about how Desi gives him sexy, confident, and talks her shit. I said, yet you literally sat in that room with Athena and Sheila talking about you notice all that shit talking and stuff too that they were pretty much stating was a bad thing. Yet you like it here now? Like... But Desi then tells him that she's never been snuck before and she essentially fought plenty of bitches before. And he asks if she's ever been the one to initiate it. And she was like, I mean, I do some sneaky stuff sometimes. But in his confessional, he's stating that she's a little bit combative. I said, but Sheila's not. That's another one that you were interested in. And she's the one that's more combative than this one. Let's keep it real. But he states no more fighting. And she was like, I mean, as long as nobody puts their hands on me. She didn't start any of the shit. It's crazy how she's getting the heat when she was the one just literally retaliating. Like old girl gave her the action and she just gave her what she asked for. Like that's literally what it was. But they then finish with a handshake and Desi tells him essentially she wants to keep getting to know him, but makes it clear she's still open to exploring other people as well. He understands because he's in the same boat. But Sheila and Trap, they were kissing and she then starts talking about him and Athena having fun because she already knows they done smashed. And he's sitting there trying to act like they didn't do it, not realizing that which he should have known because they, at least in my mind, those two are locked in like this. So they probably already would have told each other. But he's trying to play it off. He ends up asking if she thinks that they did do it. And she was like, I mean, that's the rumor. And he ends up asking if her and John did anything. She was like, no, but he tried. But we finished the episode with everybody gathering around the Boom Boom Room for their challenge, which they have this massage table here. They're speculating on what it's going to be. Ray J comes out asking if anybody got it in. They state some people did. Of course, he and his freaked out self is so excited about it. But he tells them that today the challenge is called wet and hard massages, where the girls have to get their guy hard and the one that does it the fastest wins. But next week we have the Flames, aka the Bombshells, trying to rip off Love Island so bad. There's 2 new people coming in, a boy and a girl. We'll see what happens. But if y'all got this far and haven't already, what you doing? But get in the comments, hype the video as well, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.